Welcome into another Patriots Hub podcast free agency reaction video. I'm Alex Barth from 98.5thesportshub.com. Coming into free agency, the Patriots were linked to a lot of different positions. Quarterback, not really one of them. Drake May, future of the franchise. He's your starter. Joe Milton had shown promise as a backup. You figured if they were going to add a quarterback, it would be, camp arm kind of guy later on in the process, maybe even after the draft, a UDFA or just a veteran journeyman who had hung around. But no, the Patriots made a day one signing at the position on Monday. Josh Dobbs comes to New England on a 2-year deal worth $8 million with $3.8 million of that contract guaranteed. Dobbs check some boxes for the Patriots in that room. He is sort of the prototype of quarterback they've been working with, 6'3", 220 pounds, has some athleticism, stronger arm. He's not Milton and May, but his arm is definitely on the stronger side. He also adds a veteran with the expected departure of Jacoby Brissett. He's 30 years old. He's played 5 NFL seasons, but he's packed a lot of experience into those seasons. The Patriots will be his 11th team. He's appeared in games with 5 of those teams, making 15 career starts, 12 of those coming in 2023 between the Arizona Cardinals and Minnesota Vikings. He actually was rostered by 3 teams in both 2022 and 2023, so that's how he's run that number up. A guy that teams seem to like having around to an extent, but obviously has moved around as teams look for different options at the backup quarterback position, or simply comes in when quarterbacks get hurt and leaves when they get healthy. But gives another veteran presence in that room, and I think that's why we'll get to the Joe Milton trade potential in a second, because that is worth talking about here. But I wouldn't rule out the Patriots maybe keeping 3 quarterbacks. A lot of teams do that now with that emergency third quarterback game day rule going into effect. It allows you to take advantage of that. And the Patriots may want a veteran in the room with 2 quarterbacks just coming off of their first year, even if it's just Drake May coming off his first year. So Josh Dobbs is going to allow them to do that. He's a fit stylistically. I could see them maybe holding on, certainly at least through camp, to all 3 quarterbacks and then seeing what happens from there. But this does, of course, give them more flexibility if you want to talk about a potential Joe Milton trade, because they do have a proven backup now on the roster. I don't think they were ever going to trade Milton and, just draft somebody or bring in some guy that doesn't really have a ton of NFL game experience to back up May. I think that they wanted somebody who has kind of held down that role before and certainly a veteran, and Josh Dobbs gives them that. Now, I also don't think this means they're going to rush Joe Milton out the door, nor should they. Milton, it was very limited last year, but did show some flashes, and a guy that clearly improved from college through the end of last season. And there is value in having a good backup quarterback. That role is important, especially when you have stylistically a quarterback like Drake May, who runs around a little bit and takes more hits than maybe the average quarterback. So to me, it comes down to the Patriots at this point should be open to trading Joe Milton, but they shouldn't be giving him away, right? Don't just trade Joe Milton for the best offer you get. I think a team, if it were me, a team would have to come in and make it worth my while to trade Joe Milton. So what does that look like? We can do player for player stuff. That's kind of tough. I've seen some people throw that out with different teams, players on the trade block at Cooper Kupp. With the Rams would be interesting because Alex Van Pelt is there. Reunite him with Milton. I don't know if the Rams would do that, but that's certainly something interesting to consider. The Steelers kind of need a quarterback. He's been thrown out there as a potential landing spot for the Steelers. For me, though, again, the players, it's a case-by-case basis. Draft pick, I'm probably looking at a top 100 pick. And is that asking too much? Yeah, it might be. But again, I'm not just giving away a quarterback with some upside. It's a very valuable asset. And wait till the end of camp at the very least. Maybe teams get more desperate. Maybe Milton has a good preseason. You can deal him ahead of roster cuts if that value continues to go up even more. So I don't think this should rush the Patriots into moving Joe Milton, but it does certainly make it a more realistic option and clears the, I don't know if roadblock's the right word, but clears the biggest question you are going to have in dealing Joe Milton, which is, okay, well, now you've created another opening at backup quarterback. Josh Dobbs certainly checks that box. The one other takeaway, just from the quarterbacks yesterday as a whole, I don't know how much Dobbs relates to this exactly, but you look at the quarterback movement on the first day of free agency and even into Tuesday with Daniel Jones signing with the Indianapolis Colts. Kenny Pickett goes for 5th-round pick. You see Sam Darnold get a massive, massive deal. Justin Fields signs early. He sets the market. Teams are being aggressive with these veteran quarterbacks, which tells me that they maybe don't love this group in the draft. And that shouldn't necessarily be a surprise. It's kind of been reported that that might be the case, but we're now getting real tangible evidence that the NFL maybe is not as high on these quarterbacks as the consensus was coming into the pre-draft process. So for the Patriots, that is a chance to be good news, right? Or a chance to not be good news, sorry. The more quarterbacks that go ahead of them in the top 3, the better chance they have of Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter getting pushed down to that 4th overall pick. If the teams up there aren't taking quarterbacks, they're not going to get one of those guys. Now, on the flip side of that, again, it's the Seahawks that have checked the box. It's the Jets. It's the Raiders with the trade for Geno Smith. It's now the Colts. It's teams picking behind them. So while these quarterbacks are going off the board and teams are being aggressive, the teams picking ahead of them haven't addressed the need yet. So we're still waiting on, Aaron Rodgers is still out there. Kirk Cousins is still a possibility. There's still a few names out there as we are recording this. But if those teams continue to miss out, that's the silver lining for the Patriots. Okay, the league doesn't like those quarterbacks as much. The Titans, Browns, and Giants haven't found an answer yet. And do they get forced into taking a quarterback maybe they don't want because they need to address the position? So just some thoughts on the Josh Dobbs signing, the quarterbacks as a whole, as things go around. We'll have more reaction to all the Patriots signings on the Sports Hub YouTube channel and the Patriots Hub podcast feed, wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, plenty of written reaction on 985thesportshub.com and our special off-season site, offseason.985thesportshub.com. So until the next move, I'm Alex Barth. Thanks for tuning in.